absolutely beautiful on it. Offside, again, wonderfully clean in the panel work. Offside rear alloy unmarked as well, and the remaining panel work just looks absolutely superb. Final alloy, apologise, got a bit of mud on the spokes there, but basically completely unmarked. So externally it's in really beautiful condition, this vehicle. Coming to the boot area now, absolutely enormous boots on the Civics and beautifully finished off inside as well. Coming to the back of the car now, big wide opening rear doors, loads of legroom in the Civics here, and the leatherwork is in absolutely beautiful condition. As I say on quite a lot of these videos, that's not often the case with the Civics because they are family cars. They can be quite beaten about. This is beautiful. Front door card, again, really nice condition. Full set of original Honda mats fitted into the car. And front passenger seat there, hardly looks like it's been sat on. So finally, driver's door card, again, all really nice and tidy. As is the footwell area, and then driver's seat, again, in absolutely beautiful condition. Sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated, which to all intents and purposes looks absolutely as new. We're just coming up here for you and hopefully you can see 66,775 miles on the car. And come back, this lovely big clear sat-nav system, big screen there. Pop the car into reverse, get that gridded parking camera as well. Sorry, shaky hands today for some reason. Dual zone climate control system, everything working exactly as it should. And so it's been kept wonderfully well. If I come back here, this is the view you get as a driver. Absolutely fantastic dashboard. And as you can see there, no warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running here. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack, lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Finally, just to come under the engine bay, which is always beautifully presented by Honda. Brilliant engines these, as I said in the videos, can chain driven, just a wonderful unit. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR diesel. This particular car is registered WN65VDG, and mileage is currently 66,769 miles. The reason we do these videos is essentially so that if anyone's looking at this car in an advert online, they actually get to see that very car in operation. We know to our cost just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look fine in a photograph, only to get there and find out it's got a fundamental problem that shows up whilst you're test driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads, and this actually forms part of the test drive any prospective buyer would go on. The reason for that is that hopefully it would then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. The car itself has been very well looked after, and it's immediately obvious because it drives absolutely beautifully. Engine starts instantly, settles to completely smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle when up to operating temperature, and this one's been running for quite some time now. The engines are just simply brilliant units. They're typical Honda, they're incredibly tough, reliable, very long lasting with just normal servicing, and but it's a lovely engine to use day in, day out. It's really flexible, pulls sweetly and quietly, and achieves in the real world, and I often refer to it as the real world, amazing fuel economy figures. I've got one myself personally, so I know these cars very well indeed. And this, I average, and it is an average of 64 miles per gallon currently in mine. And I've been doing, I only do relatively short trips. Longer trips, I regularly exceed 70 miles per gallon, so they aren't pie in the sky figures. They are eminently achievable, and not driving, ridiculously, like as an old lady. You can drive them quite normally and get very high economy figures. But obviously, as always, it is, you know, how you drive them as to what you're going to get back. So if you drive them like a petrol and hold them in gear a long time, of course you're not going to get those sorts of fuel economy figures. But if you change sort of usually just below 2000 RPM, change up, you're back in the peak of the torque, and it pulls like a train through all those gears. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch in the car, absolutely perfect. Bite points exactly where it's meant to be. Gearbox is just brilliant, always has been on these Hondas. It's got a lovely mechanical feel to it, which is all more impressive because of course it's cable between the gear lever and the gearbox underneath. But it's a really lovely gear change because it's direct, it's accurate. The springing between the gears and the gate is absolutely perfect. It's a class act, and it feels zero wear in it. It feels absolutely as new in terms of the linkage itself. Steering on the vehicle, as I said, is a bit of a busman's holiday for me because I've got one, so I know exactly what they're like. But it's just really positive is the best way to describe it, because it's just so quick to react. So perfectly tuned to the chassis as well. They work together absolutely brilliantly, but it feels lovely and secure and solid on the road. It's not over light, which I can't abide. You've got a thick rim steering wheel, which feels great in hand. Track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. It's all exactly as it's meant to be. The chassis, again, it's so dynamic because it just wants to change direction so effortlessly. So the corners like the one coming up now, taking sort of slightly quicker than we do normally, you just turn in, it holds its line absolutely beautifully. Very little sort of body motion and lack of control going through the corners. It's just superb, but it also offers a really comfortable, well-damped ride. It's very comfortable on the long trips, and that wasn't always the case with the Civic. The last generation, you know, they could get caught out by the sharper ridges and be quite sort of sharp into them, but these are, you know, wonderfully compliant. Come to the brakes on the car, just going to give them a bit of a shove and hold things down. So it's a really good brake pedal on the vehicle. It gives you the initial bite's really good, but also there's no pulsing or vibration coming back through the pedal at all, so all in good order. Worth pointing out that this is all going to be checked in an MOT, which is its next destination. I'm literally dropping it to a garage independent of us, who going to be putting a new MOT on the car. Looking around inside the car, it's literally just drive, so it's not been cleaned yet. So, but it is very clean in here. And what the videos cannot get across, of course, is just how beautifully made these things are. No squeaks, no rattles, absolute silence in it. It's just wonderfully well built, and a beautiful dashboard to behold, which I always openly admit, it's personal preference, and I know that, so this doesn't appeal to everybody, but it appeals to me. Unfortunately, a huge number of people that love the Civics, because it's not only a very interesting, stylish dash to look at, but it works, and that's the whole point of it. It gives you the information, and it does the things it's meant to do brilliantly well, but happens to look superb at the same time. It's got some lovely design features within it. The most conventional part is this centre stack here. So you've got this big screen sat nav, dual zone climate control system, which pumps out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. All the switch gears, a wonderful quality of actuation to it. But my favourite part is this two-tier design directly in front. So the upper tier has the information on it, which you look at more regularly. So things like, if you press your fan speed there, you get a big display pops up there, so you don't have to look down here. Likewise with radio, that kind of thing. But then next to it, you've got this huge digital speedo. Just a genius piece of design, so I can look at the car ahead or pedestrians or whoever, about taking my speed instantly without taking my eyes off the road for a second. It is genius, and it's to Honda's eternal shame that they've now taken it off the next generation Civic, which I simply can't get my head around, because I think this is just pure genius. They think they lost sales on new one because of it's more to do with the looks of the car than it is to do with what they're going on inside, but that's by the by. Down below that, we've got more conventional pod of 3 dials with your rev counter, your fuel and temperature gauges. They say this lovely steering wheel which feels as new in hand, and you've got a sort of myriad of controls with cruise and cruise control, auto lights, auto wipers, all working exactly as they should, by the way. What's lovely on these SRs, you've got this big glass panoramic roof directly above with the opening and shutting electric blind, which adds a lot of extra natural light into the vehicle, which is lovely on the car. As I said at the start, the whole point of this video, as brief as it might be, is just to show the car in operation and to feedback on any issues there might be with the car, of which there's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully. We've been selling Hondas for a couple of decades now, worked for the main dealer, so we do know them. So if there was something amiss that would show up whilst you're driving, we'd let you know, and there is nothing at all. It just drives absolutely as new. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.